That's from our show, from our film today, The Greatest Showman. And I think this movie is a metaphor for us discovering our divine uniqueness. And my message today is awakening the greatest within. The science of mind teaches us that we are each individualized expressions of spirit, of source. And when we begin to understand this at the very deepest level of our being, embody it, as Ernest says, we begin to maybe understand how we could be hiding our magnificence in very creative ways. The folks you saw in the film, that's basically the ones that were hidden away, hiding away, some in menial jobs behind closed doors, so to speak, and some behind their mom's skirts because their parents were trying to protect them because they were different. They didn't look like everybody else. They were different until they were coaxed out of from behind the curtains and brought out into, encouraged and to get them into the spotlight to be seen and celebrated. We can hide our magnificence by choosing to stay safe, choosing to stay safe or comfortable. P.T. Barnum, whatever his name was there in the film, is comfortable. He says, comfortable is the enemy of progress. Comfortable is the enemy of progress. Comfortable keeps us in unfulfilling jobs and careers. It keeps us in relationships that are failing or broken. It keeps us in friendships that are relationships in general that are no longer supportive to us and to our growth and expansion. And it keeps us living in limitation and limiting beliefs that we picked up along the way because they served us at that time, but maybe they no longer serve us. So what's keeping us comfortable where we are today and not progressing in our lives? You've heard me talk before about comfort zones. I talk about comfort zones because it's a place we can get stuck. We can get stuck. It's the range of okay in our lives. It's not too good, it's not too bad, but it's okay. It's okay. It's in everything. It's in our finances and the way that we approach that. It's in our relationships. It's in our friendships. It's in our lifestyle. We've got a comfort zone that's okay the way we operate within that lifestyle that we live. It's in our cars, the car that we are okay driving, the vehicle, the job we're okay keeping. And it's even in our spiritual life. It's okay if I go to church on Sundays, but I took a class 5 years ago. That was enough. That's okay. I've done that. I've done this. I prayed last week. It's okay. I did affirmations yesterday, but it's okay. I don't have to do them every day. This is the zone of good enough. The zone of good enough. Folks, we're here for more than just good enough. We're here for more than good enough. As I was preparing this week, it was a little bit of a rough week in my prep. I I just couldn't get it. But finally, what came to me was the Marianne Williamson quote. You may have heard. It's famous. You've heard parts of it, I'm sure. But today I want to read the whole thing to us because it's a very meaty thing. She says, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Who are you not to be, my friends? Who are you not to be those things? You're a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. It's in everyone." Now, she says a lot in that quote. And I guess that's why it's still around today, over 30 years later, after she wrote the book, Return to Love, 1992. That book holds a special place in my heart because It was a gift to me from the lady that actually introduced me to the science of mind in the first place. And I read that, and it really made an impact on me and my life at that time, and made me hungry for more and to learn more about this teaching, and to, well, here we are today. So I guess that was kind of the start of it. In the book, she says, in the quote rather, she says, "It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us." Have you ever asked yourself that? What am I afraid of here? Is it afraid of being brilliant and bold, as she says, or is it something else? Am I afraid of being bigger? Have I been told at some point in my life, "You're too much. Calm down, slow down, settle down. Don't be so loud. Don't be so this, don't be so that." Many of us have, and we embody that and we go, "Ooh, I shouldn't do that." Have you considered why you're afraid to reveal your light? If the first thing that popped into your head when I start talking about your magnificence was, "What magnificence?" that's an indication you may be afraid of your light. You may be afraid of your light if you don't think of yourself in that vein. She's talking about the divine spark of God's stuff that's within each one of us. We all have it. It's this thing called life. I'm always fascinated when I read the studies about embryology, and they talk about the two cells coming together and that spark that actually happens that they have observed. There is a spark. They've done further studies. It's zinc, actually, which I think is also interesting, but there is a spark when life begins. And that's that, to me, that's the spark of God, the God stuff within us. That ember is what's glowing down deep in our souls that's waiting to be flamed into love, into life, into creativity by us. We all come in with it, and then it's like, what do we do with it? How do we individualize that? She then says, "Your playing small does not serve the world. You're not sharing your gifts and talents with the world, as only you can do that." And we get caught up sometimes in what those are. It's not enough. It's always enough. It's always enough. The simplest act, the simplest kindness, the simplest gift that you give, it's enough. Why are we individualized if we're not here to express some dimension of spirit? There's billions of people on this planet, and everyone is unique, right? In its expression and our expression, and we're all expressing the divine in a different way. Some of us know it, some of us don't. I think we get stuck in fear and frustration too by thinking we've got some grand purpose we haven't discovered yet, some grand purpose in life that isn't being revealed to us. I've heard it over the years. "I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what I'm here for. I don't know what I'm here for." We think it's being withheld. We've been lulled by the media and movies and advertisers to believe that we are not good enough. We're not worthy, and they have what we need to fix ourselves. They know. And I guess we could be accused of being guilty of the same thing in the spiritual center. Now, we don't bring you in and tell you that you are a sinner and you are broken and we're going to fix you. We don't do that. But we do teach self-improvement. Not that you're already not perfect, whole, and complete, because you are. Absolutely. Every one of us. And there's always more to know. There's always more to know. We are here about continuous growth and expansion and awareness. Who is this presence? What is it? How do I access it? How do I live within these spiritual laws? And just like the material world, where new stuff is constantly coming out, right? New stuff. I just heard the other day there's a new iPhone coming out in a few weeks. It's like, oh my gosh. Will they stop already? New stuff. But in the spiritual realm, we can never know it all. We can never know it all because spirit is infinite and we're not. And because we're not, we can never know all that infinite is. It's impossible. So that's why we keep growing. That's why we keep expanding. It's to know more of this divine presence every day. Some people come into this teaching or other teachings, and there's a lot of movement where I'm wanting more, and I'm not getting it in the current place wherever I am. I want more. And it's like we're all hungry for more. And it's not the next guru that necessarily is going to teach that. It's what we're working on within us and the willingness that we have to open to receive more of spirit that's already right here present. That's where it is. It's not searching out there for something else. It's searching in here for the more and making that connection. The next line in Marianne's quote is demonstrated by many of the characters in the film today. She says, "There's nothing enlightened about shrinking away so that other people won't feel insecure around you." As I said, these characters were hiding and he had to coax them out to come and get into the spotlight and perform. And then later on in the show, they're hidden. He's hiding them. He's hiding them because the other people in the fancy ballroom would be a little uncomfortable around them. So he wanted them to shrink back out of the way in the corner. Don't come into the fancy ballroom with everybody. That's the shrinking she's talking about. How do you shrink? How do you shrink away or hide to protect yourself or others? Because it could be said that he was protecting them from the judgment of all the other fancy people in the ballroom. But you might question if that's the case. You watch the movie, stay today and watch the movie, and we'll talk about it. We'll see what you think. So, how are you hiding? Maybe it's not speaking up in a meeting. Maybe it's not speaking your truth because you think it will make the other person uncomfortable. Or not sharing your gifts and talents in the world because you're afraid or you've been told you're not good enough. What clicks inside of us in that moment when we go, whoop, that's not safe, not doing that. Not going to speak up in that meeting. Did that once, wasn't good. Whoop, not going to date anymore. Did that once, that wasn't good. Not going to do that anymore. Whoop, what is that? What is that fear that clicks and comes on within us that puts us back in safe zone? What prevents us from shining our brilliant light in the world? Is it only past experience? Is it only past? I spoke up at a meeting once. Didn't go well. I'm not going to do that. You are here to reveal the glory of God within. So we teach in this teaching that principle, which is God, is not bound by precedent, which means just because it happened that way once before doesn't mean it's going to happen that way again. I am here to manifest the glory of God. I will speak up. I will speak my truth. I will speak what's on my heart. I will speak what's coming through as divine inspiration and it's needing to help this process along or whatever it might be. Remembering our principles, remembering this teaching, remembering that I am here to express the divine. How do you want to express today, God? Oh, you want me to speak up in that meeting? Okay. I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. Move a little bit out of my comfort zone. Marianne says, we are all meant to shine. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. And the glory of God is life, it's love, it's intelligence, and the power that animates us and gives us conscious being. We can all be kept alive with machines today, but it doesn't mean we're conscious. It's this conscious activeness within our minds that makes us alive. God is not separate from us. God is the essence of who we are. This spirit, source energy, whatever it is you prefer to call it, It's not a deity outside of ourselves. It's not anything outside of ourselves. It's right here. It is the beingness within us expressing through us and as us. Because it's spirit, it's ethereal, it's not form. It has to express through the forms that it creates, and we're part of that. So it wants to experience life through our eyes, our hands, our hearts. Ernest Holmes is the author of The Science of Mind that we teach from, and he says there is a divine spark at the center of everyone, not just some beings, every being, even the ones we don't like very much. God's there too. God's there too. And nobody has more God than anyone else. Do not let them tell you that. Do not let them suggest that that's true. Nobody has more God than anybody else. We all have the same spark. The difference is our awareness. The difference is our awareness, and that's why we come here. That's why we attend a spiritual center with like-minded individuals so that we can come together for this experience, for this enrichment, for this expansion. It's to increase our awareness of source, of the love that God is within us. Spending time every day in the silence. You hear me say it almost every Sunday. Just being aware of being aware of our breath, of the life energy that moves through us, stilling all of the exterior to just simply be quiet and to listen in the silence to the silence. We can open our heart to a greater experience of spirit. And a greater experience of spirit is always available to us for the taking. It's available to us for the taking when we're ready to receive it. As I said, as I was preparing this week, I couldn't quite get my arms around exactly what I knew what I wanted to say. I just couldn't get my thoughts together on how I wanted to say it. It was like it was glimmers. I just couldn't get a grasp. Even yesterday, when I was sitting down to write out the talk, I just couldn't get started. I had a million distractions. I was letting myself get pulled away and all sorts of stuff. And I did my meditation and went to the computer, and nothing was happening. And I don't know, I'd been up 4, and it was about 9:30, and I was just kind of laughing. I was thinking about going back to bed. It's like, okay, just go back to bed for a while. And I thought, no, I'm going to meditate again. So I went back and I meditated again. And in that meditation, I heard a voice clearly say, yes. I heard a voice clearly say, just start typing and it will come. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So I did. And I sat down. And it wasn't the data dump that I hoped for. I saw my fingers flying across the keyboard and the keyboard smoking and just done. Everything off to Joe by noon. And it didn't come that way, but it came in little bits. It came in little bits. And a lot got edited out and tossed. But it came together in a way that felt right. And our spiritual practice of tuning into that which is ever available to us, that intelligence that's ever available to us, and being willing to receive it, is a key that we can use. What I have discovered is that trusting the process, trusting God, is the most calming, peaceful, and productive thing that I can do. And it's not easy because I want to push it through. Remember term papers and cranking them out the night before? I work well under pressure. Well, life doesn't have to be that way. We don't have to work under pressure. When I get out of the way and allow God to be God in my life, listen to my heart and to my intuition. You got to listen, God run my life. I'm a mess. we're still active in this role, but we just open to that higher intelligence and we let it flow. And life is good. Life is better. Our spiritual practice is what fans that flame of that ember within us, that little spark. If you find yourself playing small this week, find yourself pulling back, shrinking away, close your eyes if you can, take a breath, and imagine blowing on that little ember and just getting a little flame going and getting it going a little bit bigger. And know that Spirit is within you and that you are its most important instrument of expression. You are, each one of us. You were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within you. That's your purpose, however you choose to do that. Let's look at some spiritual. Remember, you can sign up for the Mindful Monday email or the Saturday newsletter. And your practice is to spend time in the silence this week, fanning that spark within you and affirming, Spirit is within me and I am an instrument of its expression. Or just, I am an instrument of the divine. St. Francis' prayer, Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. When I'm feeling stress or frustration, fear, anger, anything that's not serving my highest good, I have built a habit up of thinking, let go and let God. Let go and let God. And I repeat that thought in my head over and over until I feel the release. I just feel that release of the true letting go. And then usually something interesting happens. The conversation shifts. Things move. Traffic opens all of a sudden. Whatever it might be, something interesting happens. This week I invite you to let go, let God, and show up as the magnificence of the divine being that you are. So it is. Oh, and it's your turn. Any comments or questions this morning? Anything on our spiritual practices? Yes.
I've always been told I'm too loud, and I've always been told that, and I'm not enough, and I'm not good enough, and I have ADHD. I don't care. I'm just who I am. So when I started coming to Science of Mind, it was 2003, and always from that day till now, I've always been accepted for who I am. Okay, so it's always been great. At work, some people can't accept me for who I am, but I'm still me. And it's interesting because I don't care what they think because I'm not doing anything bad or wrong. So I ignore that and I keep being me. And I learn when I do something when I'm with somebody, then I'll get rid of that friendship or whatever. One night I was out with my friend, and we were drinking. Um, and it was funny because I ran into Joe and I kind of embarrassed Joe because I'd been drinking. But Joe, he he didn't he didn't say or try to put me down or anything. He didn't do anything. But what I learned from Joe was I need to not hang out with this person because I drink more than I should, and then I say whatever's on my mind, and so I don't hang out with that person anymore. So I'm easily getting rid of people that aren't good in my circle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been kind of fun. I'm me. I don't care what anybody thinks about it, and I'm because some people like me.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's fun. Like at work, I make the patients happy, and at ease, and I'm just me. Woohoo! That's what I do, and they like it, and that's who I am. So it's kind of fun. So yeah, it spoke to me today. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Diane.
I know that as I age, and I'm always surprised at how old I am. So, and I know that I'm aging and I'm alone and I'm a woman. And I look at all of these things, and I'm also always impressed with. I'm a different person often than I think I am. So I take inventory regularly, and I like myself, and so and I like the people in my life, and I like my life, and I'm grateful.
Good. That's a good place to be. That is a very good place to be. Anybody else? All right. Let's wrap up with a prayer this morning. Would you join me? As we go within this morning, we recognize that infinite presence within. Some call it the Holy Spirit, God, Source, Presence, Energy, Universal Energy, whatever it is to each of us as an individual. We just recognize that that is the allness, that is the life energy that is in, through, and as all, that is the life energy that's in, through, and as us. It is the system in which we live, move, and have our being. It is that infinite love from which we were all created and made manifest here on this planet, right here and right now, this time-space reality, not 100 years or 1,000 years ago or 100 or 1,000 from now, but right now. And we're all here, right here now, by divine appointment, coming together in this spiritual community, as community, in support and love for one another. And so I know as we take this message into our lives this week, remembering that we are here to express that glory of the divine within us, individually, individualized, and uniquely as only we can. And when those moments rise before us, where we feel compelled to hold back, accept it's enough, or shrink away, that we remember who we are and who we've come to be, and we allow our light to shine forth from the love that we are, to be the ripples on the pond that make the world a better place. We share a kindness, a thought, a prayer. I know for anyone this day that has anything on their heart they are seeking prayer for, as they lift that into the consciousness of this prayer in this community this morning, that we surround them with our love, our light, knowing that that is resolved in whatever way that they see fit, every way that is best, knowing that God and the law are always at work. And so it is with a grateful heart, filled with joy and thanksgiving for the manifestation of this prayer, for the life of this community, and for each and every one of us gathered here today, that I release this prayer into the action and activity of law, knowing that it is already done and complete. There's nothing further to do. And so it is.